When you're navigating the complicated world of real estate, you want someone you can trust holding your hand along the way. Here's just the right person and just the right program. It's the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show, an advertising feature on AM 800. Here's your host and broker owner of the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team, Dan Gemus.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. We have a great show planned for you today. The millennial generation is really turning out to be a force to be reckoned with in the real estate industry. We'll tell you more about that in just a minute. Now, also coming up on today's show, we'll answer our email question of the week. It's pertaining to writing an offer on a home that already has an offer accepted. We're also going to learn about a brand new condominium project just announced this week. And have you ever gone to flush a toilet only to have it clog? And wait, and there's no plunger in sight. We'll give you some tips on how to clear that clog. Sans plunger. But first, joining me in the studio today are some of the other folks from the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team, and they've all brought plungers with them this morning. We have Kathy Talbot and Courtney Bondy. How are you, ladies?
Good. Good morning.
Well, yeah. So we're gonna get to that story or those tips sometime soon.
Dan, I'm beginning to think that you have a bathroom fetish. You talk about brushing your teeth,
the toilet flushing
and
with the teeth.
toilets,
Yeah.
and yes, I'm beginning.
It's all
to
just
wonder.
fascinating. All these kinds of tips, right? We did what was it the one time? Tips with how to use various items
Yeah.
in your bathroom that that aren't for its intended use. That was a fun one. What do we take away from that one? What was the one of the funniest things we had?
You can use conditioner for shaving.
Yes, conditioner for shaving. We laughed a long time about that one.
Yes.
But everyone's doing good this week.
Everyone's doing great this week.
Fantastic.
Lots of we've had more multiple offers on listings this week, and
Yep, that's exciting.
lots of buyers looking for properties. We'll get to some of those as well. We'll talk about what we're looking for. So if anyone is out there listening and has a property to match, then it might be a good time to sell. Eh?
Yeah.
In the meantime, we did some pickups for our charity yard sale this week.
Mm-hmm.
It was we got a couple of vanfuls.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing when you pull up someone's door and they call the office or they email us saying, "Okay, I've got some stuff for your charity yard sale. Perfect, we'll come by and pick it up." We get there and it's like a whole bunch of stuff. Like it fills the van. It's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing. And it doesn't help that it doesn't help. It doesn't hurt that it goes to a local charity, and 100% of the proceeds go to charity. It's a pretty huge event. So you can always find more information on our website, dangemus.com. And if you have anything to donate, it can be anything that we could sell in a yard sale. Really, people donate. My goodness, toys,
Baby
items,
knick-knack
books,
things and
knickknack,
dishes
anything
and-
you
yeah.
can picture in a yard sale. We take it. It's a huge. This will be our third annual indoor charity yard sale. Last year we raised over $6,000
Unbelievable.
in 6 hours
Mm-hmm.
for a
Wow.
local charity. It was amazing. So we look forward to doing that again this year. Lots more information coming up on the timing of the yard sale to be sometime probably April 2nd is what we're aiming for. But there'll be more information coming up on that. In the meantime, this story about millennials. The millennial generation. Now, for anyone listening, wondering, the millennials, I believe, are anyone born between 1980 and I always get this wrong. I think just about 2000, somewhere in there, right? And this article I found mentions this: with millennials comprising about 25% of Canada's population, this segment is poised to outstrip their baby boomer parents in the real estate market as they start moving into their family rearing years and purchase homes. A large part of this population lives in major job growth hubs like Toronto and Vancouver, driving sales of single-family homes and starter condos in these areas. Experts said that affordability plays a central role in the millennials' purchasing decisions, even as the sector is willing to pay an average of $1,800 per month to rent condos close to the workplaces. Obviously, this is the Toronto, Vancouver
yeah.
markets. This is because the average resale price of a Toronto condo is now approaching $500,000.
Unbelievable.
And we've had clients that have moved here and sold condos for much more. A little one bedroom, less than a 1,000 square foot condo.
Wow.
For
What they
more
can
than
get here
$500,000. And they come here and they buy
on the water.
I know.
or a beautiful house in LaSalle or Lakeshore or wherever, Amherstburg, South Windsor, East Windsor, and they're amazed by what they can get for $250,000.
Yep. Put
It's
some
just
money in the
crazy.
bank besides.
You got
Yeah.
it. These projections line up with expert observations that millennials are more attracted to job and a lifestyle as opposed to owning cars or homes. Now, again, this article specifically it talks about Toronto and Vancouver markets. So I can understand in those markets, people want to be in the downtown core. They want to be around their work areas. They don't have to travel too much because traffic is just a nightmare. We always joke in our little towns here. We have one little red light, and it's the end of the world to us.
Complains.
We're like,
Yeah. 20 cars in a
come
row.
on.
Where is everybody coming from?
But we often talk about millennials and how they surprise us in some ways and how they don't surprise us in other ways. What are some of the experiences you guys have had with millennials out on the road, Kath?
I just find that they're have a lot of patience.
What?
They're not willing to wait.
Hey, hurry up! Come on, talk faster.
Exactly. Oh my God, is Dan a prime example? And when they go out looking at homes, they want everything done. Like they don't want to wait to finish a basement. They don't want to save up money to, add on a garage or whatever they want.
They want it all
everything
now.
from the get-go. Yep, it amazes me.
Huh? You wonder why that is, right? And I've heard talks at some point where it talks about the baby boomer generation, where they grew up. It was sparse, right? Their parents didn't have much, so they in big families, so they had to really stretch things to make them last. And then so the baby boomer generation was the opposite, right? They wanted to be different. So they wanted to have more in excess of things. And then our generation, oftentimes, I know it contradicts this article and what we're talking about, but and it talks about how our generation, the millennial generation, is the opposite. Our parents had everything, and a lot of our generation does not necessarily want everything, but they would rather have things that mean more to them. I don't know how to explain it properly, but Court, does that make sense to you at all or no? Because you're a millennial as well.
Yeah.
What's your experience?
I don't know. I don't know if do you mean like they want more expensive stuff?
No,
I feel
not necessarily. But this speech I was heaaring talked about how they want more meaning to life. So to them,
so to keep it
going
more
to work,
simple.
yes, like the baby boomers, right? Job was a job. Wherever they worked, if they didn't like it, doesn't matter. It paid the bills. They had a good pension. Whereas the millennials, it's not as important because they would rather have a better more fun lifestyle. The quality of life.
Quality of life, like traveling more
travel,
experiences and stuff.
So that they job hop more often, which I can understand. To me, it makes sense. Knowing a lot of millennials, but when it relates back to real estate, you're absolutely right. I find our generation wants everything. They want it done. They don't want to have to worry about it.
They want it yesterday.
They want it yesterday.
And they want the information.
They want the information,
They want
yes.
all the information on it, and you better be prepared when you get together with them.
And they like to really study things. They want to go online and research.
Yes.
Huh? Isn't that interesting? But it'll be interesting to see what. And then people talk about the next generation.
That's what I was just going to say. What in the heck is that going to be like?
What's
I
next?
think it's going to be very interesting.
I can't picture it going any faster pace. I can't. I can't see it going any faster pace. How can it? I try to follow the millennials now because I'm the baby boomer generation, right? So I find it amazingly different.
I think the generation after the millennials, I think what the mistake is going to be there, what the hardship is going to be there, is they want everything for nothing. They don't want to work to get things. They expect to come into the workforce and just have it made, be at the top, come out of high school and be the CEO somewhere.
But I think that's part of the millennium, like us as well. There's this expectation that, I expect, because I went to university, I expect to come out and make this expensive job in order to afford this big brand new home, and
not work for it.
You have to put the effort in and commit and work your way up. And
I don't see how it can be any other way, seeing how they already have everything.
What do you mean they already have everything? From their parents, you mean?
Yeah. Like your generation is already got the best of everything. So how can your kids not expect the best of everything, if not even better?
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. But I just from my group of friends and from ourselves, I find that we are reversing the trend. Whereas, unlike our parents gave us everything, right? The baby boomers gave their children everything because, again, they grew up.
Because they didn't have anything.
They didn't have everything, right? Our parents gave us everything. I think our generation is reversing it, whereas we are not giving our kids everything.
Oh, I hope you're right.
We are
That's
not giving
awesome.
I hope, like, I speak for our core group, but we don't give our kids everything. We have reversed it again because we got everything. We kind of saw what it did to our generation a little bit, and we want to reverse it again, back the other way. And so it's the opposite. I might not pay for my kids' education. We have the the savings and everything, but unlike some people we know, they will pay the kids' education, but they don't tell the kids they'll pay the kids' education. They want them to save up money, expecting them to to pay for it, just to learn that you don't just get everything.
Exactly, or you split the cost. You figure something out. But yeah. Totally
but someone I know
that.
does have that train of thought, and I love it. Where they have the money saved. They've been saving for their kids' education, but they haven't told their kids that the money is saved. They want them to actually work for it, which is interesting. Okay, when we come back, we're going to get to our email question of the week. Okay, it's pertaining to offers or an offer being accepted on a home, and whether or not somebody can look at the house or write another offer afterwards. Okay, so get back to that right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show on AM 800.
Welcome back to the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show, a paid program on AM 800. Here's your host and broker owner of the largest real estate team in Windsor, Essex, Dan Gemus.
Welcome back to the show. We like to tackle a question every once in a while that we'll get by email. Or you can call us as well live on the show if you'd like. 519-792-CKLW. That's 519-792-2559. And you can email your questions at dan@dangemus.com. And you can find all our contact info on our website as well. So today's question. Hi, Dan. Just wondering if you could tackle this question on your show next week. Once a seller has an offer accepted on their property, can they still accept other offers? We've placed bets on whether myself or my wife is right on this one. Doug and Tina. Kath, do you want to start off?
Yes, you can.
So there you go. There's your answer.
Thank you very much.
The end.
The answer is yes. Regardless of whether or not you have an offer accepted, you can always accept another offer. But
there's lots of variables.
There's a big but. There's a couple buts. First of all, does the offer that is currently accepted have an escape clause? An escape clause is basically where it allows the first offer to be bumped.
That's right.
So your typical conditional time on a property, and again, there's lots of variables, and some do it longer, some do it shorter, but a very popular conditional time, if it's just financing, inspection, and insurance conditions, is 1 week. So that's a very popular time that we tend to see. In that week, there are times when a seller and their realtors will opt to put an escape clause, or the sellers will, so that if another offer comes in, then the offer can be bumped. Mm-hmm. You typically always see an escape clause if the buyers have a house to sell, so it doesn't lock up the property. And it can be a 48-hour escape or a 72-hour escape clause, which means that you'd have to give the first offer that amount of time, so 48 hours or 72 hours, to remove all of their conditions, or whatever condition that the escape clause mentions. At that point, if they cannot remove that condition in time, then the first offer is bumped, and the second offer takes over.
Yep. And even if there isn't an escape clause, you can always let other people view your house, and you can have a backup offer.
Yes.
And it's conditional upon that the first offer falling apart. And we've seen a lot of first offers fall apart.
Yep.
And people are in line waiting with another offer. So, yep, you don't want to close off your property completely because you just never know.
Oh, yeah, no, you never. As a seller, you want to keep showing it for sure because you never know that first offer. We always tell people, because people get excited, we have an offer accepted. And we always jump in and say, okay, listen, it's not done. It is not done till it's
I was
done.
going to say, I think sometimes sellers aren't aware of that they just have an offer in front of them and they don't. And then sometimes, you have people that still want to view your home, but the sellers say, no, thank you. I have an offer. I don't want to. I don't want to show without thinking, hey, what if the condition doesn't go through or whatever.
We had to start reminding our sellers after we're leaving an offer presentation and we have an offer accepted. And before we leave, we always say, okay, I don't want to see a word of this on Facebook. It's happened before where we'll do an offer, it's accepted. We sold our house tonight. Yes. No, you haven't sold your house. There's still conditions. It's not done. Retract that. So we always tell our sellers, stay off Facebook. I don't want to hear a thing on Facebook about this until it's done.
Yep.
Don't jinx me. But
it is exciting and it's hard to wait. It's hard to wait for those conditions to be done, especially when they go to the 11th hour. How many times do we see that? Oh my gosh.
Right
Have you heard from that realtor yet?
No.
Oh my gosh. The removals are due today. Where are they? I know. Hang in there.
Well, there's times when buyers, if their financing is just down
really
to the wire,
difficult. Yep.
They'll ask for extensions. So if it was a week originally, but they need more time, so can we extend 3 days, 4 days?
That's why it's nice to have a backup offer.
It's nice to have a backup offer.
Yeah.
It really is. And what would really be horrible is if your backup offer was for more money than the first offer. We don't see that often, but it's, you never know. It could definitely happen.
Well, especially in this market.
Yes.
Right? Because houses are selling so quickly. And I get people call me on our listings and I'll say, oh, I'm so sorry. It sold yesterday. And is there any way could we still try? Could we still get in there? Can you unsell it?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I just had a lady call me Friday. Could you unsell it?
It's true.
No,
How
I'm
often does
sorry.
somebody say, we'll say, oh, sorry, we have an offer accepted. It's actually sold. It firmed up. Well, what if I offer them more money?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, the lawyers are not going to like that too much, obviously, that you sell the house twice.
Well, I've even had, it's very rare, but I've even had a buyer offer, like a new buyer, offer the first buyer.
Yes.
I had one guy offer $10,000.
To the first buyer.
$10,000 to the first buyer to walk away from the deal.
Away.
And they would not. They would not. They wanted, the husband would, but the wife wanted that house really bad and she would not. I thought, what a quick way to make $10,000. Like go find another house, right? But they would not walk away. That was very rare, but that happened to me. Yep.
Wow.
All kinds of things.
Hear it all.
It's, it truly is. Every day is different. Every deal is different. It keeps us on our toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's an emotional roller coaster.
It's an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah. Especially in this market right now.
Yes. It's nuts. There's lack of listings. But we look the stats we saw last year.
I was just going to say, don't say there. I've been saying there's a lack of listings to everybody.
Well, there's lack of listings.
Well, because we've got more buyers.
But exactly. But that being said, we last year, 2015, saw more listings hit the market than 2014.
That shocked me.
I know it's surprising, but it just goes to show you, it's just the market is hot. People are buying.
Oh my gosh, yes.
We saw more sales last year as well, not just more listings, but many more sales.
Yeah.
The average price has gone up nearly $10,000 so year over year. So it's been good all around. So, anyways, when we come back from the news break here, we're going to talk with a good friend of ours, John Delamonte, about a new condo project opening up out in Amherstburg. It's pretty exciting for the town, and we'll learn all about that right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show on AM 800.
Is it time to buy that income property? Or maybe even that cottage? The Dan Gemus Real Estate Show is here to help make those decisions. Welcome back to the show, an advertising feature on AM 800. Here's Dan Gemus, your host and broker-owner of the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Amherstburg, Ontario. Now, although it's had its share of bad press the last couple of years with its financial woes, there's no doubt that many of its residents are finally happy with the direction in which it's heading. The town's finances are now looking extremely positive, and with many upcoming projects preparing to launch, many folks really do believe that Amherstburg is the next big thing, the next hot market. Not only is it the safest community in all of Canada, but it's the police force that recently won Canada's best dressed police vehicle. Even with the recent property tax increases, it remains to be one of the municipalities with the lowest property taxes. And let us not forget all the amazing festivals held in town throughout the year. Well, today we wanted to tell you all about an exciting condo project that officially launched this week, and to tell us all about it, I've invited a great friend of the Dan Gemus team, and it's John Delamonte, sales rep with the RE/MAX Preferred Realty. Hey, John, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Dan. Good. How are you?
Well, I'm very good. Thanks for joining us this morning. We're excited to learn all about this project. Tell us about it.
Yeah, this is exciting for us. It's a 26-unit condo project in Amherstburg near the Walmart area. So it's close to amenities. It's 26 units, 6 floors, contemporary design. It's a design we're excited about because it's got a nice flair to it, trending in other communities, but kind of a first for Windsor, Essex, and thankfully in Amherstburg. Yeah.
And you mentioned the flair, and there are pictures available on its website. We'll get that information out to folks. Tell us about why they decided to kind of change up the design and make it look different.
Well, these guys are from Toronto, and we talked about a condo in Amherstburg, but we decided that instead of the square box, just a plain full brick, be dressing it up. And these guys are from the Toronto area. And said, well, how about, something like this? And it just immediately caught our attention. And we're noticing it just from the calls we're getting, and people are saying, wow, that looks great, beautiful design.
You serve the town of Amherstburg just like we do as well, John, and you've been seeing it as well. People are looking for condo living. They love it.
Absolutely. Well, we noticed that, there's people renting apartments,
yes,
in old buildings for like, $1,500-$1,600 a month. And you can actually own a brand new condo unit for less than that, with the current interest rates.
No kidding. How many bedrooms are these units going to have, John?
They're 2 bedrooms primarily, but we do have 1-bedroom units. Some are 2 baths as well, with balconies, and the balconies can actually come with enclosed glass.
Nice.
The designs are, floor to ceiling glass. So lots of light, very bright interiors.
How large are these units?
Average size is about 1,200, but, we have 1,600 penthouse square feet in the penthouse units, but average is about 1,200.
Now, I'm assuming that obviously it's still in the beginning stages. If somebody is interested, they can obviously make some changes and add some unique flares to their units, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we just did the marketing launch this week. We're having an information session February 29th at Ricardo's Italian Restaurant in Amherstburg. So whoever would like to come out on a Monday evening, February 29th, you just have to register on the website first. Mm-hmm. And the developers will be there, the architect, the lawyer, Windsor Family Credit Union's on board.
Awesome.
So, it's going to be a nice evening.
Tell us about some pricing.
$229,900 is the starting price. Upper 200s is going to be the majority of the pricing, but $229,900 will get you a condo in this building.
Parking, is there underground parking? Is there the possibility of underground parking?
There's a possibility. We're going to leave that open for discussions. If there's a need, we're definitely going to pursue it. That will add to the price, of course, which actually then would get us more units. If we can go underground, the units then would probably jump about $25,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
The developers, I've heard make mention of wanting to use local suppliers, local companies to kind of help head this project. Can you explain a bit about that?
Absolutely. They don't want to be known as the Toronto Development Corporation. They want to be known as this is locally built. They're comfortable with the architects are from Windsor. They want all the builder from Windsor or from this region, of course.
Yeah.
All suppliers. So they want this to be a homegrown project.
That's pretty great to hear. Is this their first project out in Windsor, Essex, John, or they have more stuff?
It actually is. They're developing other areas. They were here about 3 years ago, bought some property, and then kind of fell in love with the town. And they bought this piece of property and specifically want to target a condominium project here.
I guess we should tell people where it's located.
It's 182 Pickering. It's basically Pickering and Sandwich, right near the Walmart area, one block from the river. So you're close to shopping and downtown.
No doubt that Amherstburg has everything right there. You don't have to leave the town. If you're in Amherstburg, you can get the restaurants and get everything right there in town. Where can folks find more information, John?
SouthPointCondos.ca. Okay, so that's South Point Condos. The point has an E in it. SouthPointCondos.ca. There's the website is live and it's a responsive website. And you can register on there for daily information.
Yep.
News releases, and we have people registering already.
Fantastic. Hey, listen, we're all excited about this project. It'll be a great addition to the beautiful town of Amherstburg. And listen,
Absolutely.
Thanks for your time, John. Thank you for waking up this morning for us.
Thank you, Dan. Thanks for the wake-up call.
You're an early morning person, aren't you? You're like me.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, we're both the same. Oh, one second. Yeah.
Hey, John, you know,
Hi, Kathy.
they always say it's who you know. And
That's right.
I'll be ready in about 15 years. So could you save the penthouse suite for me,
We're going to
please?
take a penthouse right on the very top floor for you.
Thank you, John.
Good morning, John. Listen, thank you again, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right.
Thank
That's
you.
that's
Bye-bye.
John Delamonte, the sales representative with Remax Preferred Realty. He's one of the agents that's handling this condo. And listen, we'd be happy to get you more information as well, and give us a call if you want more details on those units. But John's done a great job in telling us all about that. It's definitely a huge project for the town of Amherstburg. It'll be lots of fun. Yeah. And you're right. If you do find the pictures, if you haven't seen them yet, it is a very urban, modern-looking building. It'll be a nice addition to the town of Amherstburg. It's so fun to watch, these developments happening, and in the Lakeshore, Tecumseh, and LaSalle, and Windsor. It's been interesting to see them all happen, right? And the planning stage is always the best part. It's the time to get in while they're building it. You can add your own little touches and your custom touches to it, which is lots of fun. Hey, listen. We're going to talk about toilets when we come back.
Woohoo!
I know, flushing and clogging toilets. We have we have some tips of what to do if you clog your toilet and you have no plunger. What do you do? Run the other way.
I'll bet you 99%
Yeah.
of the millennium generation does not have a plunger. I would like to know. I'll bet you. Do you have one?
I don't have one.
Do you
That's
have
You know a
one?
plunger? We have plungers, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
That's because you have kids.
Yes. Oh, yeah. The toys and everything else. But I'd like to know how many people would just clog a toilet and leave it for their spouse to deal with.
And walk away.
Oh, Lordy.
Do a Facebook poll.
Yeah. So we'll talk all about that when we come back, and we're going to talk about some featured listings and some buyer requests. We need some stuff. We need We have buyers looking
Yes.
for some properties in every corner of Windsor, Essex, and we'll tell you all about that. If you know somebody who has one that matches up, give us a call. We might sell it for them. Okay, so lots more to come right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show on AM 800.
You're in the right place for the best real estate advice in Windsor, Essex. It's the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show, a paid program on AM 800. Back to the show with your host and broker-owner of the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team.
Welcome back to the show. Before we get to our plunger story, we want to talk about some buyer wants and needs, and some listings we want to mention. Courtney, do you want to go first?
Sure.
We have some new listings, don't we?
Yeah, a new listing on Les Bronze there, 1538 Les Bronze. It's close to EC Row. It's a fantastic 1.5 story, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, newly renovated inside.
Yes.
So you can go online and on our website there at dangemus.com and check that out. Look at the video tour and the pictures. And then we have a new listing coming up on 348 St. Peter Street in Lakeshore, Bell River
Yes.
area. Ranch style, 3-bedroom. It's got a fully finished basement. The garage is made into a nice entertainment center.
Yeah.
That will be listed at around 209.9.
We sold that house 3-4 years ago, and yeah, it was pretty cool. The previous owners wanted more living space. They had a big family at the time, and they turned the garage into it was like a games room or like a big living center. So obviously it could be turned back into a garage if the next buyer wants it.
Might make a nice
cool
man
space.
cave too.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh yeah, it
Very
was it was pretty cool. Kath, anything from you listing wise?
Yeah, we have a new listing on 474 St. John in Tecumseh.
Yes.
And that shows really well. Beautiful, gorgeous new kitchen and new bathroom, all refinished hardwood floors, partially finished basement. Backs has no neighbors behind, little brick ranch. That one's at 187. That's a real nice little house in a popular area.
Yes.
Lots of interest in that.
That's cool. We have a lot of buyers looking for some specific stuff. Why don't you girls give us an idea as to what your buyers are looking for? Who wants to go first?
Well, my young couple on St. John
Yes.
want to get something larger. So they're looking in the Tecumseh, South Windsor, LaSalle area up to around the 300, low 300 range. So I need something in those areas. We've looked at quite a few actually, whatever pops up, but nothing has really struck their eye yet. And I have Nick and Kathy from Lakeshore who are going to be listing their gorgeous raised ranch as soon as we find something.
Yep.
So there's the catch-22 again, right? And they're looking up to the 400 range, and they want South Windsor. They love the Roseland Gulf area. Yep. That's where they would really like to be. But they'll go up to 400,000. That's just two right there. You want to pop in a couple, Court?
Yeah, we got a great couple with two kids there looking to buy a house somewhere in the east end of Windsor, around the 150 mark, preferably with bedrooms all on the main floor, or because we've been looking at some homes there with a couple rooms upstairs, and that won't work for little children.
Mm-hmm.
And then another great new couple, they're looking in the east end of Windsor, around 160, or some county property, but that hasn't been any luck, so we're expanding into Windsor.
That's funny how that goes. We'll have buyers that are looking for something in a specific area, and the next thing you know, especially with the market right now, there's not much popping up, not enough popping up. So we have to expand.
So there's
next thing you know, they ended up in Lakeshore. Okay, we'll do Leamington.
I know, it's
we really
true.
have to do something.
Speaking of the East End and Lakeshore, I want to go even a little bit further. Yeah. I have a couple looking. They'll go out to Stony Point.
Okay.
They have family in Chatham. So he got a job here in Windsor. So they're trying to stay as far east as they possibly can.
Yes.
And he's really a big hunter. So if he can be on the creek, on one of the creeks, or like Bell River or the lake, have access to that. He's got a little boat. And so they really want that end. And they can go up to, I believe, the 300s range as well. And like Courtney mentioned on that other couple, this young couple has two small children and a brand new baby coming in a couple weeks. So they don't want bedrooms on opposite floors either. They really would like all the bedrooms together if at all possible. Okay. Some of the raised ranches we've looked at have the 2+1, right?
Yes.
They've got the 2 bedrooms on the main floor, and that third bedroom is stuck in the basement. And they don't want to put a baby or a 3-year-old in the basement away from them.
Jeez, makes sense.
And there's quite a few of those built. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I guess they wanted like a larger master. They only had so much square feet to work with, right? So they wanted a larger master, so they made 2 on the main. But it's great for teenagers.
It sure is.
They love that room in the basement, but not for little ones.
Okay.
My couple there would be fine with like a 2 and then the 1 in the basement or something, just so long as the kids don't have to manage the stairs.
So they put the master in the basement?
Yeah, they would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've seen that before too.
I've seen that too. Yeah. I've seen that too.
Interesting.
For sure.
Okay. Plungers. Do we own them?
I have 2.
Yeah, 2. Yeah, 2
I'll
plungers.
Borrow one.
Yeah. Courtney does not have a plunger.
I don't have a plunger.
But after this,
Santa.
Yeah, there you go. That's a little ways away. But after this, you won't need a plunger. Why? Because I'm about to give you 7 easy ways to clear a clog.
Come on.
In a toilet.
Where do you find this
stuff,
Dad?
Are they? Yeah, I want to hear these. Are these getting good?
Here we go. Number 1. When you notice a nasty clog, your best bet is to fill a pan with hot water. Heat it up on the stove or use the tap, but don't let the water get to boiling point. Pour it down the drain and let it sit for a few minutes to see if it loosens the clog. You'll know if your efforts were successful if you see the water start to drain. No kidding.
Yeah, that'd be your first clue. Or overflow. Oh, God.
Then give the toilet a flush or 2. In many cases, the hot water is enough to break up whatever is causing the backup. Next, if you need to kick things up a notch, borrow some dish soap from the kitchen and squeeze a generous amount, about a 1/4 cup should do, into the toilet bowl. Let the soap sit for 5 to 10 minutes so it has time to move down the drain and reach the clog. Then add hot water, again not boiling, to the bowl and give it some time to sit. In most cases, the soap will act as lubricant and grease the clog in the toilet drain to get everything moving again. It makes sense.
And then you have bubbles.
Bubbles.
Listen, this is if you're in a pinch, okay? And you don't have a plunger. Next, It's time to channel what you learned in elementary school. If your toilet bowl is already filled to the brim, either empty out some of the water or be prepared for a little overflow. Next, pour 1 cup of baking soda and 1 cup of vinegar down the toilet drain.
You're kidding.
When the vinegar and baking soda combine, the natural chemical reaction will bubble and loosen the clog. After about, it makes sense. Doesn't it make sense though?
Oh,
after about 30 minutes, we could have like the volcano out of the toilet.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
After about 30 minutes, follow up with some hot water and see if it drains. If it does, you're good to go. If it doesn't, repeat the process once more and just keep going.
Just keep going until it goes away.
Add more. Just add more. Next, the brush battle. This may seem a little unpleasant, but if you're really in a bind and there's no plunger in sight, grab a toilet brush and angle the bristle down the drain. Pumping up and down a few times should be enough to loosen things up so the clog clears in no time. I don't know about that. The bristle brush, I can't picture that working. But
worth a try.
I guess it's worth a try. What do you do? If you don't have access to a plumbing snake, who does, really?
What, you mean you don't have one in your closet? No. You don't just,
You can fashion your own using a wire coat hanger from your closet. Okay, I guess. Simply unwind the hanger so that it's completely straight, with the exception of the hook. Then wrap a small rag around the hook to help prevent any scratches or damage to the porcelain. And while wearing rubber gloves, gently angle the hanger down the drain until you find the clog. When the water starts to drain, flush the toilet a few times to clear it out. On that note, when they changed, because when we bought our new building, I had all the plumbing changed because there was word that there was some plumbing issues, and there's a restaurant on the other side, so grease blockages and everything. I had them in there to just start putting the snake down. You could not pay me enough
to do that job.
And put a snake. Now this was like a long line. We put a whole bunch down because the big building and the lines go far. But you could not pay me enough to do that job. Plumbers out there, God bless you, because I don't know how you do it, but I'll part of the job. Next, bathroom bomb. It's called. Don't run out to buy Drano. Create your own DIY declogger instead by mixing together the following ingredients: 2 cups of baking soda, a 1/4 cup of Epsom salt, and 8 to 10 teaspoons of dish detergent. Add 1 tablespoon at a time. Tablespoons. Teaspoons, tablespoons. Pour the combination into, when you're talking about this, really, pour the combination into individual muffin liners, then let them dry and harden overnight. Okay, how about you just go out and get a plunger? Really?
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
The next morning, drop 1 into the toilet bowl, add 4 cups of water, and let it sit for a few hours to see the results. Why would you not just go to the dollar store and buy a plunger? This is a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. What happens if you only have 1 bathroom? You have to wait a whole day to learn the whole process.
Hope you're good friends with the neighbors.
Yeah.
And just think of the person who obviously experimented with all of this.
Yes.
They had no time on their hands.
Okay. Next and last but not least, the last resort. Again, this is ridiculous, but rent a wet dry vacuum from your local hardware store. While you're there, buy a plunger. We repeat, do not try this with a regular vacuum.
Oh, no.
First, you use it to empty the water from the bowl. Next, wrap the hose in an old rag to create a seal, then stick the vacuum a few inches down the drain.
Oh my.
When you turn on the vacuum, it should suck out the clog. Again, don't forget the rubber gloves.
And then you return the vacuum.
Seriously, Dan. Oh, Lordy. Oh.
Nobody's going to rent vacuums anymore.
What's that stench from that vacuum? I don't
know, honey.
So, Kath, you must have found this list, right?
Oh no, that didn't come from me. I would just call my Dr. Blake. He comes and fixes everything.
Yes, good old Dr. Blake.
Can
my
you give out his number for everyone else
yes.
too?
Absolutely. There's nothing that guy can't do.
Honestly, really. I could see the hot water. Okay, I get that. And maybe the dish soap. But everything else, it's just easier to go to the, run to the hardware store and buy a plunger.
Yeah. It's pretty silly.
Everyone should have one, Courtney.
All right.
Everyone should have a plunger.
On my way home.
Okay, there you have it, folks. Here's your tips, your 7 easier ways to clear a clog. I don't know about that. Lots more to come right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show on AM 800.
Welcome back to the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show, an advertising feature on AM 800. For more details on today's guests and show topics, or to listen to past shows, visit the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team website at dangemus.com.
Well, thanks for tuning in today. We're happy to have you along. We'll see you again next Sunday. Again, don't forget, if you are thinking of buying or selling a house, give us a call. We'd love to come out there. Wouldn't you, Kath?
Yes, that is what we're really here for, Dan, not
yes,
bathroom tips.
We need more listings. I know.
And we'll bring a plunger to your listing.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Free plunger if you list with the Dan Gemus team.
Oh, boy. But seriously, if you are thinking of buying or selling, give us a call. We'd love to help. 519-566-5565. Our website is dangemus.com. And again, there never is an obligation with the free home market evaluations. We'll come out there and have a look. And oftentimes, you'll be surprised. We will recommend you don't do the work that you're anticipating on doing before listing.
True.
That happens quite a bit, okay? So we'll see you guys next Sunday. Thanks for listening, and have a great rest of the weekend.
You've been listening to the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show, an advertising feature on AM 800. If you've thought about selling or buying a home in the future, the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team would love to help. Visit the team's website at dangemus.com or call the office 7 days a week, 519-566-5565.